What's up, everyone? Welcome to Our Way Out. It's nice to be back. We was shooting again. We took a little break just to work on our personal things and get our minds right. But we're back, and today we have two special guests. We have Julio and Dakota. Welcome, and then thank you guys so much for being here, for making time to come share your stories and yeah, man, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? You guys are from LA County, right?
Sir, that is correct.
Nice.
So where do we start?
Yeah, man. You guys are formerly incarcerated. How much time did you do?
I did a total of 9 years.
9 years.
So saying,
What age were you when you first went down?
I was 13 when I was first introduced to the justice system.
Yeah.
From there, it was in and out.
In and out.
I did a total of 3.5 years throughout that. By the time I was 18, 2 weeks after my 18th birthday, I was looking at 96 years in prison.
96?
96 years.
Oh, man.
That's life. Yeah. That's it.
Long time was that.
I bet that was stressful.
Yeah. It's weird though when you're in that culture and that lifestyle. You're almost numb to it in a weird way. Like it doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
A lot of things were happening at that time. When I was 17, I'll rewind just a little bit. I was sentenced to an out-of-state placement, right? And I was doing good for the first time. I had my GED. I was playing football, ran track, and I was actually up for an early release. That was my first time ever having that. Always was a mess up, but something felt wrong about it. Nonetheless, I was out 3 months before my final date. My second day out, I got a phone call from my PO. They said I had to return home to the incarceration. I didn't really understand what they said, but they said it was a 777. A mistake happened. I wasn't supposed to get out. Long story short, I had 3 months left. I had a decision to make. So I ended up going back. About a month before I went back, came home for the final time, I get a phone call that my dad was passing away.
Oh, man.
And 2 weeks before I get home, he actually passes. So at that time, I come home, I'm 17 years old. I felt like they took that from me. I was hurt. On top of that, we ended up being homeless. A lot of things were going on at that time, so I reverted back to criminality. Robbing, selling drugs, things like that. And I ended up looking at that 96-year case, which was 8 counts of armed robbery, things like that. But it was through all that hurt that I really wasn't feeling the gravity of what it was that was really happening. And fortunate enough, as crazy as it sounds, I was sentenced to 14 years.
14 years?
Dang, 14 years. From that point, I was still kind of indulging in that because all along I was looking for a sense of belonging, acceptance. And in that culture, in the prison, they have fractions. And within my collective, my core, I felt that I had found that family. And truth is, like, you feel like that because you haven't found yourself. And during that time, I was able to progress and evolve. And I realized it wasn't what I was looking for because all along I was just looking for that self-love and acceptance within myself. And so it was a long journey, and I started really connecting the dots from the back. And I was able to see the picture from the forward sight. And yeah, man, things started coming together. Maybe about 6 years in, I started really having those revelations and epiphanies. And I was trying to figure out my path forward, right? And I realized that you got to make success subordinate to something greater. And that something greater was to be a service. At that time, fire camp wasn't a reality for me, but they had created a program, Brownsburg and Pine Grove, and it was a YOP fire camp. And they got rid of our peak.
YOP, you mean youthful offender?
Yeah, youth offender program. So anybody under the age of 26 in prison, they had special benefits and criteria.
I gotcha.
So for me, I was able to exercise that. They took my P code off, which is a security risk. They didn't want us on the lower levels. And I was able to become a part of that program. And it was through that the stars aligned that I realized I wanted to be a firefighter, to be a service, to make a mark on the world that was something that was greater than myself, to be a part of the healing, but to show people that was a better way. So that was kind of how I came to this path.
Man, that's a crazy journey, bro. And everything, you know, like they said, you can't connect the dots going forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. And you start seeing why, like, some things happen in life and they kind of like shape you into the man you are today, right? What about you, Julio?
Man, thank you for sharing that, man. That's powerful, man. That's powerful testimony, man. As for me, man, I went in at the age of 13 as well. In and out. When I hit the age of 15, that's when I was facing a lot of time as well. And by the grace of God, I got sentenced to juvenile life. Did 5 years, came out, was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to change, trying to acceptance, self-love, didn't know what self-love was.
Yeah.
You know, I come from a home where there was not a lot of love, didn't have the guidance, you know, from father figure, big brother, role model. My role models were killers, street thugs, and the lifers in jail. Those were my, I would say, my role models at the moment, right? But I learned a lot of wisdom, you know, out of that time, right? And all. So I actually while I was in DJJ, I was at Pine Grove. And when I was in Pine Grove, I got the opportunity to experience a different dream. You know, I got introduced to nature.
Pine Grove Fire Camp, right?
Pine Grove Fire Camp, yes, sir. That opened up my heart, and that allowed me to see a different vision and a different version of myself, right? I came home and I wanted to be a part of it, right? This is something that I wanted to do. So when I came home, I joined the Triple C's with Butte Fire Center, and right after that, I got certified for EMT. You know, I got all my certs, firefighting training. Was one of the best life experiences. You know, I was up there and by Chico, and you know, it was just all nature. I was introduced to nature, and that's where a part of the healing was going on, right? Right after that, I got hired with Texas Canyon Hot Shots with the Angeles Forest Service.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hot shot crew, you know, type 1.
What does that mean, hot shot?
Hot shots, so they're like the badass of the badasses, man, and they're really hard workers. You got to really be committed, and you got to really be like in shape, physical shape. Like, and when I'm talking about physical shape, you got to have a lot of cardio and be consistent with exercise. And that was a tough, it was a tough road for me to start, because when I when I came in, I was the youngest kid there, right? I was only like 21, and everybody was older than me, and they had already been doing this for so long. And but the most important thing is that so there was this thing called Hell Week, and it's the training. It's the training that they do these first 2 weeks, and they put you through hell in those 2 weeks, and it's either gonna break you or it's gonna make you, right?
What does a Hell Week consist of?
Man, waking up early.
What's early?
4 a.m., waking up 4 a.m., getting to the fire station 5 a.m., cleaning up your tools, making sure everything's organized in the fire trucks, the engines, cleaning up the fire station. Just everything has to be dialed up.
Yeah.
And so then they take us to these mountains, right? It's triple digits. It's 100 something degrees. You're wearing a pack that's like almost like 75 pounds. You're carrying a sauce. You're wearing double layers of
your Nomax gear.
I'm starting to sweat just thinking.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of that, it requires you got to stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated with water. Drink a lot of electrolytes, water, because if not, you're gonna cramp up. So I learned that, and that's why I honor and I'm so grateful for water today, because that taught me to always stay hydrated, and that has prepared me for that. But that was really tough. Those 2 weeks, it's like you want to quit. But that's where it's all a mindset.
The mental part of it.
Yeah, it's a mentally, you got to be mentally strong for that type of job, you know. And, you know, if you're not mentally strong, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, that's what made me become who I am today.
Yeah.
You know, because it's really something in life too, you know. In life, you have to be mentally strong. You got to have the heart. You got to have the passion. You just can't quit. Life's always going to test you. Life's always going to test you. Any given thing, no matter what. And life has taught me that, and life has humbled me in that way, and it has taught me to be patient with myself, and it has taught me to be happy in the darkest times when I don't have nothing or anything in my life, because of that reason. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that, because if it would have been because I've never got that experience, I don't think I would be I don't think I'll be standing here today, honestly. You know, so I could just say like I'm a walking miracle. I've already survived hell. You know, by being just coming from the background that I came, right? Part of the gang culture, being addicted to drugs and alcohol, mainly alcohol. But having to let go of all that stuff, letting go of friends, letting go of, you know, people that don't serve a purpose in your life or don't value you in your life. That was one of the biggest challenges for me, because I had a problem with that, because I wanted the self-love, the self-acceptance, I mean. And when I finally found out how to love myself first, then I was able to love others as well. So without self-love, I mean, we can't give love to others. So we have to help ourselves out first in order to help out others. So, you know, that's kind of the highlight of it, right? So, and so now I'm currently just doing the fire training now, the fire academy.
So are you currently in it?
Yeah, I'm currently.
Okay, and you currently graduated, right?
Yeah, just waiting on my Cal Fire.
Yeah. So how was that? How was that process? Like, what is that program like?
Honestly, it was great. So for me, myself, I was working 2 jobs at the moment. I had to quit one, and I kept my ARC job. I worked 5 days out the week. Friday, I would leave a little early. I would take the 7.5-hour commute up to Santa Rosa from LA. Get there around 10. Yeah, it was a lot. Get there around 10, bunker down, bed at 11, wake up 4, and have a 12-hour academy day.
Yeah.
Everything for
And it's through the weekend, right?
the weekend. That was it.
And how many weekends was it?
8 weekends.
In a row. So you did that 8 weekends in a row, like commute, everything.
Wait, so you commuted every weekend?
Every weekend,
Every weekend.
from.
Why not just stay up there?
So right now, I'm
got a
really
job.
on parole.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, to work here.
At work.
man.
I'm tired.
Oh, talk about grinding.
Yeah, it was worth it. My queen's here. She flew out from Indiana.
Okay.
The day I got out of prison. She's been here ever since. I couldn't just up and
Yeah. Yeah.
that. I'm on parole. I'm at a beautiful transitional house. I didn't feel like the 2 months would be worth to discard everything that I had
Yeah.
in LA. So I had to hunker down and make a decision, and
Grind it out.
hard.
Yeah.
Grinded it out. Car blew up. Got to figure that out. Started renting cars. Got expensive. Drove my girl's car. Tire blew out.
Oh no.
Like 70 miles out, man. It was like the brothers helped me out with the tow. Everything went good. Car repaired at the end of the academy. And it was the drive back was probably the worst part though.
You're tired.
It was like a 21-hour day. I'd land in LA probably around 2 a.m.
Have to go to work the next day.
At 8 a.m.
Right at air. Damn.
It was rough, dude.
Hey, that's what it takes though, man. If you, that's what you wanted and you did it, you know, so that's something to be proud of, you know.
And like
Sure.
And like Julio said, that's key, man. Pushing through it even when you want to give up. When you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you're just going by faith, pretty much. Like, you know what? I know the light's coming. I just gotta keep going, you know.
Yeah.
And that's key, man. And so what happens now? Now that you've graduated, what's the next thing for you?
So for me, I submitted my Cal Fire application, waiting to get called to the fire service. But on the in-between time is trying to show people the path, right? And use my experience as a blueprint for those, so they don't have to learn the lessons I learned the way I did it, and give them the gateway to the academy or whatever it is that they pursue it. And for me, being a part of ARC is we're like the first initial point of contact. So people coming out their first day, 30 years in, 40 years in, 20 years in, just being able to be of service, to guide them, to be that navigation system for them in whatever pursuit, whatever journey, whatever dreams they have. And I measure success not by what I achieve or my accolades, but in the capacity that I'm able to enable others to succeed in theirs. So in the meantime, just being of service in that light and waiting for my moment to step up.
Nice, bro. That's good, bro.
And Julio, where you at in the process right now?
So right now, by the grace of God, I just got hired with ARC to be a monitor staff.
Oh, nice. Where at? What at one of their house?
Catalina Housing. They just opened up a new Catalina Housing, and it's gonna be a transitional home for youth getting out with the ankle monitor, like, you know.
Yeah, a little earlier. Yeah.
So it's like a SYTF program, right? So my role, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be getting my shift is from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. right? So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be getting up the brothers and sisters, right? The youth waking them up at 4 a.m., taking them on a hike, taking them on a run. We're gonna all get gym memberships. So it's gonna be pretty dope. We're gonna get up and just program, right? Gonna get a little exercise. After that, we come back home, we break bread with them, eat a wonderful meal. And after that, there's gonna be a process where we talk about life, a little healing circle, right? Where we just sit down and we're just gonna talk about straight life. And to me, that's a blessing because that's what I love to do. I'm currently on my healing journey, and that's something beautiful for me. That's gonna be something so special because I'm gonna be playing a big role in this with these youth, right? Coming from that experience of just of transitioning right into the youth and kind of how can I say, when you're transitioning from the 20s and those 20s, your mindset, right? At the age of 25, you're like, all right, you've fully got soaked in all the knowledge and the wisdom. So now you're just transitioning into another phase of age. So I have experience in that, right? And I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm not better than anyone. I just have lived experience, and I want to give my heart and to sharing my knowledge and my wisdom with these other youth. And I'm excited for this. It's gonna be opening up soon, and yes, I'm gonna be doing that. And on the other end, I'm gonna be doing the fire training academy, the fire academy. So
you're gonna be commuting too from here, huh?
Yeah.
So Santa Rosa,
All the way up there?
or is it Ventura?
Ventura.
Oh, Ventura. That's a little closer.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be doing both, right? So it'll be busy. I'm gonna be a little busy, right?
Yeah.
But
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, and then on the weekend,
You do the fire. Nice.
So at 10 a.m. you finish with the housing, and then at what time do you have to be in Ventura to do the firefight?
and the firefighting, it's on the weekend.
On the week.
It's only on the weekends. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
to my knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I'll be doing that. And on the others, besides that, I'm going to therapy, working on myself.
Yeah.
And so I do that on the side, and I do a little bit of poetry, and, I go to dancing classes, things like that, just to keep myself proactive.
Yeah.
Right? We gotta stay active, and we gotta stay consistent with what we love to do.
What's the trip, man? I used to work at the Ventura firefighting camp.
At VTC.
A while back, like probably like 5 years back when it had just opened up. There always had to be a ARC member there present in the facility. So I was one of them. I'll go like early, and then I'll see them get up, go to breakfast. But to see it become what it is now, and to see like people graduate from it and make careers out of it, it's inspiring, man. So it's always nice to see community come together, help each other out, and then to go out in the world and actually make a difference. It's a beautiful thing to see. But you didn't do it. Did you do?
I didn't do VTC. I could have done it. I thought about doing firefighting because I got out from Pine Grove, and I was there for like 2.5 years, maybe like 2 fire seasons. And it was between that or film, and I chose to do film. And it worked out for me. But I always say, I took so much from fire camp because if you could do that, that shit takes you to places making me wish I was back in a cell sometimes. Why am I on this mountain doing this? I could be sleeping in a bed, But those are just the rough times. But I took so much from it that makes my workout here now in film seem almost easy just because of how difficult that stuff was.
And I will say, man, it really gives you that work ethic because Tristan works with us, and I could see how he's taking that and he uses it on the work field. He's one of the hardest workers on set, on the show. Shows up early, always goes an extra mile, and you ain't even got to tell him. He's already on the next move. So I could see how that training, it prepares you mentally. And you can't go wrong in life taking that and applying it to your everyday program. It makes you stand out truly.
Life. Life's so beautiful, man. Life's beautiful, man. And life's, like I said, life's always gonna teach you something, man. And we have to be aware of that. You know, we got to be aware of those type of things because, you know, if you're not ready and prepared for what life is coming, life's going to throw curveballs at you, man. And you got to be prepared for those type of things, you know? And, you know, getting up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes, you know, at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up at all, but you know what? It's what I have to do. It's what I need to do to be an ally with my mind. You know, I have to be an ally with my mind because that's what's going to allow me to face the challenges and face all those fears and those limitations that I have kept with myself, right? And a lot of that required as me growing up, I was always afraid. I was always living in fear, but I don't operate in that place because of the grace of God. And I operate with love now. I operate with faith. And like you said earlier, right? Faith, it takes a lot of courage to have faith, you know? And I got my faith in those dark days, those dark moments, those when you can't see that light, when you got nobody there and not one single dime, not one single penny to your name. I mean, that's where it all counts. That's where it all counts. And that's where your faith will be tested.
Yeah.
Your faith will be tested. And we had to be prepared for that. You know, and I could say anything to the world. I mean, that would be my advice to the world. Just be prepared for whatever's coming and be full of faith. You know, be filled with faith. You know, you're going to make it. No matter how bad it is, and no matter how bad it gets, you're gonna make it.
The blessings will come, yeah. And obviously, you guys have taken this firefighter route. But growing up, what were you guys' like dream jobs? What did you like want to do?
Man, it swayed. I was always into athletics, UFC. Crazy here, you guys talk about.
Yeah.
I rode. I did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Taekwondo. Incarceration kind of broke that up as a juvenile. Football was my next one up. Loved it. I think, you know what I loved more about it was the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Being a part of
Team sport. Yeah.
Teaches you a lot of things. That was kind of where my path was, but it was always something deeper that I really didn't tap into. I always liked helping others. I think kind of building off what the brother said, just being a student of life, being open-minded to anything in the fire service. They use the term situational awareness a lot. I think it's pivotal. And one of my favorite quotes is luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So you never know, because you can't really look for it. Whatever it is that's meant for you will find you when you're ready for it. And so I guess I never really thought too much into it. Just being in that culture and that lifestyle, the gang culture, you don't really think too far, man.
Yeah, you're definitely not thinking about your career when you're grown.
It's not. It's tragic in itself, but man, it worked out in the best of ways.
So yeah. What about you?
Man, I would just say, man, like, you know, the brother said, you know, I didn't have a dream. You know, my dream was, I was delusional as a kid, right? I was just bad at the world, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? Now that I've gotten sober, right? You know, sobriety has allowed me to have clarity, and it's allowed me to get closer with God as well. But I believe that it has to do a lot with giving back. It has to be with giving back. Whatever I receive is because the Creator Himself has given me the opportunity to bless others. And that's my dream in this world, is to bless others with the blessings that I have. Because money doesn't make me happy. And I found that out when I had nothing. You know, I found my happiness when I didn't have money, when I didn't have nobody, when I didn't have no one. And, you know, what life has taught me is that just to be happy, make myself happy, no matter what it is. No matter how bad the days are, how bad things are not going your way, right? It's finding that happiness within ourselves. And me as a son of God, right? I love to give to others. I love spreading my love. I love giving, being able to pass on my heart. I love sharing my heart. I love passing that knowledge that I have, right? And that wisdom, you know, and I just love giving back to others. You know, when I'm out in this world, when I'm out being myself, I'm out there just being me, myself and I just love spreading the happiness. I love spreading the joy. I'm just another kid having fun, living my life to the fullest. And yeah, a lot has to do with just giving back. And that's my dream. That's my dream in this world.
Yeah, amen to that, man. And what are you guys' 5-year goals going forward?
Man, in what part of my life, man? I got categories. Part, so that's something that I like to use as a measurement as far as my progress goes. So I think in my 3 years financially, I would like to see at least 100K. I don't mean gross. I mean like in the bank, visible.
Yeah.
Family, man. I got my queen out there. She's the world. Nothing I could have done, like up to this day, I've been out for 8 months. Like could be had done without her. I stand on her shoulders. John Cesario, that's my guy right there. Good friend, like all these people around me. I just want to build as many good relationships as possible. And to kind of summarize it in the long is just create an impact and lay the blueprint out for as many people as I can and have a family and have that burden free of like I don't have to look behind my back no more and just clear the plate and just give back to others. That's it. Like it's a simple one. So that's my 3-year goal.
What about you?
And well, first and foremost, I'm gonna take care of my family. My family is very important to me. I come from poverty. I come from nothing. Seeing where my family, it's just me, my nieces, and my sister, my mom, and we've always been small shelter, and my goal is to get them out of the hood, right? Buying my mom a home. Financially for sure I'm gonna be stable, but most importantly, it's having my careers, right? Firefighting, giving back to others, helping out the youth. And obviously I'm gonna have my own home. But the one thing that I wanted to say is yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift. So that's why it's called the present. We don't know if tomorrow's gonna come. I can't really plan what's gonna be for me in the future. All I know is I gotta live the present moment. Enjoy that present moment. Enjoy it to the fullest. We have to do it. We have to remind ourselves those things. So, hopefully I planted a seed in your guys' heart. I planted something in your guys' thoughts. But yeah, that's my purpose there. Enjoy every moment like if it was your last. Tell those people that you love. Tell them how much you love them, and let them know that you want them to be happy. Just how I want you guys to be happy. And I love you guys, and that's my goal.
That's good, brother. And we appreciate having you guys here today. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your life journey. We know you guys are gonna be great out there in the world. You can just tell when you see someone like, man, these guys have the light in them. So brothers, will be praying for you guys. Anytime you guys need our help, whatever way we can help, we're in your arsenal. So thank you so much for
being here, guys. Yeah, thank you.
We'll appreciate that. And with that, we want to end this episode. Like, subscribe, ask questions if you have any questions for us, and also our guests. What you want to hear more of. And thank you.
Thank you. That's our way out.
That's our way out, baby.